welcome to Back Issues of Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I thought we wouldn't end this year without returning to the Dark Multiverse.
Could we not?
So we're back
Could
in
we
the
just
Dark
end
Multiverse.
the year and start 2022 maybe on a bad way?
No, we're doing it now. We're getting it all out of the way. Although we do have a second volume of Tales of the Dark Multiverse, and there's plenty more to go from.
God.
How are there so many?
I will tell you this. They didn't stop.
Yeah, it's not like they did every event ever.
They should have. And they kind of did. Well, they did a lot of ones that you remember. They even did ones where it's like, you didn't read this, but here it is anyway. I keep referring to War of the Gods, but there was a War of the Gods, Tales from the Dark Multiverse, and I'm like, and I read it, and I'm like, you didn't read War of the Gods either.
Like, of course, why would we?
This is coherent, and I understand what's happening in this. There's no way. Like, and it's great because if you read the Wikipedia on War of the Gods, it's like it seems pretty straightforward. Then you read it, and you're like, no. That's not what that says at all. and then you read the War of the Gods, Tales from the Dark Multiverse story, and I'm like, you just read the Wikipedia because you didn't know what the hell happened either. It's just amazing. I'm like,
I'm not gonna sit down and read that whole friggin' event.
You know how fucking long it is?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you work there, man.
To get one issue of this friggin' what if concept?
I don't work for DC, and if I gotta read it, you gotta read it. I've read it twice.
Whoa.
I have no freaking idea.
You're saying that I'm making Dark Multiverse War of the Gods after the War of the Gods run that we had.
Yeah.
I'm just making my own Dark Multiverse run of a thing called War of the Gods.
See,
if it happens to match up a little bit with the Wikipedia article, that's on you, my friend.
You ain't Marvel. That's what Marvel does, where they're like, let's just take the title from that. Here's something else.
Hey, I remember that. Why is this nothing like that thing?
Yeah, Age of Ultron. So we're gonna do Flashpoint because I think we're ready for Flashpoint from the Dark Multiverse because we've already covered the fact that it's not an evil Earth, right? The Dark Multiverse, each Earth is about their own multiverse, because otherwise you can't have Tales of the Dark Multiverse Dark Knight's Metal, which they did, which we did. So, because Flashpoint is like, we changed Earth Prime. We changed the Earth.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
All of it. So if you're going to do that, you're affecting other Earths. But it's not Earths within the Dark Multiverse.
No, it's a whole set.
It's a whole set of its own Earths that are seemingly the normal derivation of Earth, but for this one alteration.
Right.
And then that sends a ripple effect. Because they also do Crisis on Infinite Earths in the Dark Multiverse.
That shouldn't work.
By part 2, and when I say part 2, I mean this is the hardcover of volume 2, which I kick myself for buying every time I look at it. Because I was like, oh, you know what, we're going to do this. And
look at Tempest on there just being all big. And
look at him.
Oh, I have machinations.
Yeah, look at me. You like this? No? All right, well, I guess I'm dead. But every time I look at this, I'm like, we're going to do another one. And then, it doesn't do very well. And I'm like, nah, fuck the Dark Multiverse. And then I'm like, you know what? It is kind of fun, though. And then I look at, the trade paperback that came out that's half the price. I'm like, damn it! But I rushed to get this. But, it's fine. They went, okay, so obviously the premise was, it's what if, but it has a bad ending. Because it's in the Dark Multiverse. And Tempest is just, going through, being like, is there a champion here?
I mean, that's what if was anyway, usually.
Yeah, well, that's all that is. Well, what if is kind of like that, but only because editorial has to be like, it can't be as good as it is now.
Yeah, I can't make people say,
I wish I had
what
that.
if?
Yeah, but you can also not have it be intrinsically in the DNA of the universe itself that good loses. But that being said, by that point, they also were like, just do whatever you want. Literally just, okay, whatever. So the intrinsic purpose of Dark Multiverse Stories is that it has a sad ending. But by phase 2, which isn't really a phase 2, it's just they did more. Just do whatever you want.
Just do whatever you want. Just do something where some fucked up shit happens at some point.
Here's the thing. If people buy the book, I don't care what happens.
Exactly.
As long as they buy it.
As long as I get my $6, I don't give a shit. Okay, shut up. What are you asking me for? And at this point in Flashpoint, this one is written and drawn by Brian Hitch, who is a superstar comic book artist and is a pretty good writer.
Is this all you get for the book?
Yeah.
There's no part 2 to this?
Nope. They put a number 1 because it always starts with number 1.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a number 2.
It's a million number... Why would you even number it then? If it's all number 1, you're never going to make a 2.
Yeah.
Also, that for $6, that's
not a lot.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but you got to pay for Brian Hitch's art, and there's no ads, and it's prestige bound. You're paying for something.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right.
The fact that there's no ads, that helps.
That does help. In a big bad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Brian Hitch, he wrote it, he drew it, contextualizing Flashpoint. Barry Allen goes back in time, he rescues his mother from being murdered by Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash of the future, who is obsessed with Barry Allen. We've talked about Barry Allen and Reverse Flash to death, literally, on a number of episodes of the show. But, so because Barry goes back in time, because Barry saves his mom, now Atlantis and Themyscira are at war, and Superman was caught. His rocket was thrown off its trajectory, and it crashed into Metropolis and killed a bunch of people, and the U.S. government recovered Superman and put him in like a red sun room for most of his life.
Right. Yep.
And there was never a Flash in this universe.
Right.
Also, the Waynes aren't killed. Instead, Bruce is gunned down, and Martha Wayne becomes the Joker, and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman.
Yeah.
And what happens is Barry Allen goes back in time. He hooks up with Thomas. The two of them help Cyborg, and Cyborg, of course, is like the Superman of that universe, who's trying to like save the world and protect America from being destroyed by Themyscira and Atlantis.
Now, is Barry still the Flash at this point?
Barry, well, yes, because there was no Flash in that universe.
Yeah.
As far as they were concerned. There was a Barry Allen, but he never became a forensic scientist because he never was inspired to do so by the death of his mother. So, but we don't even bump into that Barry.
Right. But I'm saying,
He's not part of it.
It's not like he goes back and like, oh, there's no Flash, and I don't have the Speed Force either. I'm stuck here.
Yeah, no, there is the Speed Force. It's just that like he comes back there, and so then Barry's in the past. Well, actually, Barry's in the present.
Yeah.
Of that universe.
Timeline.
Yeah.
Where it skews
to an alternate tangent.
Yeah.
Yes. And so at the end of that Flashpoint book, like Thawne's gonna fuck shit up, and then he dies. Batman stabs him with a sword, and Barry runs. That's the story.
Right.
And because he goes back in time again and fixes it, he keeps the memories of that experience, but also like Grifter lives in the DC universe now. And everyone has stupid, terrible, like, piping on their
Well, yeah,
suits.
everything else changed.
And everyone's younger and more hip. Yeah, 52. Exactly.
Yep.
So, that's Flashpoint in a nutshell. And this is not that. It's ridiculous. So, because it has to be.
I don't know how you're going to make Dark Multiverse Flashpoint without just, like, destroying everything.
Well, it's already dark.
It's already dark. Well, like, that's the thing.
The Flashpoint universe is dark.
Is intrinsically miserable and dark. So it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, but they're taking stories that were always dark. Look at, like, Blackest Night.
Yeah, no, but they're
not a happy-go-lucky story.
That's DC in a DiDio world. All DC events are dark.
Yeah, but they also do events that were not dark.
Yeah.
Like the death of Superman.
Tempest Fugonaut, of course, is looking for his champion.
Yeah.
And incidentally, Brian Hitch either doesn't remember
what Tempest Fugonaut looks like?
What Tempest Fugonaut looks like, because this Tempest Fugonaut has no nose.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a weird mask.
That's so funny.
Just off model. I don't care.
I don't like that nose. You know when he's new enough, I can maybe fix it.
Maybe I can fix Tempest Fugonaut's design. Maybe that's the problem.
I don't think you understand. He's a giant temporal being. What does he need smell for?
Right.
Yeah.
Space is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Can't even
no
have air.
smell in space.
Right? Doesn't make any sense. He will have lips, though.
Does he eat? What does he eat? I guess he has to talk.
Now, I'm not defending Tempest Fugonaut and attacking Brian Hitch's decision to go off-model with this character.
Right.
But Tempest Fugonaut is the protagonist of Tales from the Dark Multiverse, and it's kind of like, if you're not going to draw him consistently, why even put him in the book?
What if Barry goes back and does all this stuff
and it changes
affects Tempest Fugonaut?
Yeah, this is New 52 Tempest Fugonaut because of Flashpoint.
God. Well, he doesn't.
See, everyone else got new costume with piping and shit. Now I have no nose. Now I'm streamlined.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, and I have piping.
Let's assume that's the case. Barry goes back. All the crap from Flashpoint up to him hooking up with Thomas Wayne's Batman happens.
Okay.
And if you recall, Barry doesn't have access to the Speed Force when he goes back and then returns to the present in this Flashpoint universe.
Yeah.
So he needs to jumpstart it. He needs to get that lightning bolt again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Waynes do that.
Yeah, well, Thomas does. The Waynes are not...
Batman.
One Batman, yeah. But they get an electric chair. Barry gets the chemicals he needs to be doused in, and they strap him in the electric chair. They throw the switch. He gets electrocuted. He almost dies, and then he becomes the Flash, repairs himself, and goes on his merry way of being the Flash.
Right.
Hooray.
Hooray. Instead, he dies.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, crap. We just electrocuted him.
Yeah, that's it.
Like the thing that would happen.
Which is exactly what Thomas Wayne said would happen. So he's just like, I mean, what did you expect?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on board for it either way.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. But like,
Still not using a gun.
normally what happens is Barry is struck by a lightning bolt, which is also him, and it connects him to the Speed Force. There's also the negative Speed Force, which is what Eobard Thawne taps into, which allows him to exist even though he like dies and stuff. It's bullshit. It's
Just because
it's just,
polarity and shit.
just who cares? Suggestively, the lightning bolt that hits Barry is from the negative Speed Force.
Oh, that's why he died?
Maybe. There's really no good explanation as to why he dies. It's more just like, well, if you're gonna... That's not how you became the Flash.
Isn't all lightning negative
Sometimes.
because they're all electrons?
So instead what happens is a lightning bolt hits Thawne during his excursion through the time stream and knocks him out of the negative Speed Force into the Flashpoint universe. Now the idea here is that like you can kill Thawne at any point, but like because Thawne exists like running through the Speed Force throughout time, you can just pull Thawne from any second of that excursion so he can never die because you can just pull him from any moment in time.
But that also means, like, you can never get rid of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like that's how you can kill him,
Right.
But like he'll
There's
always come back.
a version of him somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just like, he will catch up to himself and die. But, like,
Infinity of points of time from which to remove him from.
precisely.
Doesn't it mean that Barry can also just be taken all the time?
That moment.
Theoretically, yes. So, yeah, that's the explanation. In any case, in this particular point, my guess is that this Thawne is the Thawne who already affected the change that made Flashpoint, and he's jolted out of the Speed Force, or negative Speed Force, and into the present reality of Flashpoint. And so he arrives, and Barry Allen dies, and for no reason, Thawne has a mix of a costume that is half Barry Allen Flash and half Eobard Thawne.
It changes his outfit.
It changes his outfit because the DC Universe's causality rules also dictate costume design.
Well, you have to
That is a
understand.
thing that happens, and I don't even know why. I'm just saying, like, it's not the strangest thing that happens.
Yeah. Well, no.
Now, you know what? Actually, yes. Him having a half Flash costume is the strangest thing that happens in this book.
Well, now that we have no Barry, Eobard Thawne has to somehow become one of our heroes.
Right.
But you have to remember that he's normally evil, so we'll do half the costume.
Yeah. That way, when we show him running, like on the bottom half, you'll think it's... No, it's just weird. But yeah, so Thawne arrives, and Barry burns to death.
Always two there must be, and now there's only one, so he's split in half.
That's right, yeah. So Thawne's like, way to go, Barry, you're dead. And he has this like existential kind of conversation with himself while Thomas Wayne is just looking at him like, oh, because Barry caught Wayne up to speed on the previous reality, Bruce's survival, Thomas's death, and Thawne's intervention, because Wayne makes a comment about how Eobard Thawne is a really stupid sounding name. And he's like, yeah, well, it's a name you'd have in the future.
Yeah, it's a future name. It'll be normal then.
We're not all antiques like you, Tom.
Thomas Wayne will be stupid in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And Eobard Thawne will be normal.
Right. I don't think that's true. So
I like the fact that, like, this is what Batman thinks.
Yeah.
This is like, oh, you must be Eobard Thawne. If it was me, and I just strapped a guy to an electric chair, and he got hit with lightning, and then a new person showed up that was
him?
super speed, I'd be like, so it worked.
Right.
It's you.
So Thawne has this moment where he's just kind of like, I always thought like if I killed you, it would unmake me, but I didn't, so I'm here.
Yeah, because he was my inspiration.
Yeah. Well, and he's the lightning bolt that gave me my powers. Like, I wouldn't become Thawne without him.
Right.
So there's a whole thing. Like, I can't kill you, but I hate you, that kind of thing. But also, they fix that as well, so he could want to kill him anyway, because they did every story with Thawne possible. So,
I mean, technically, the fact that Barry was the lightning bolt that created Thawne always happens in Thawne's past anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
So, like, no matter where you're plucking Thawne, he still
had already become Thawne
from Barry.
Yeah. So he's just like, I guess I'm free now. Like, because his whole life was, I'm the guy who jerked you off at super speed and made you think that you had a hair trigger with women. Like, you know, I
can't kill you.
Yeah, but I can ruin your life.
I do have to ruin your life.
Yeah, but now my obsession is dead. What do I do? What do I do with this newfound purpose?
Horticulture.
Yeah, I'll get into something.
Well,
and I'm fast, so I'll be really good.
Your obsession's dead at this like one specific like place in time, but like he was always dead at some point.
Right? Yeah.
Like, if you want him to be dead, just go into the future.
Why don't you just go back where you came from? He's been dead for years.
Dead, yeah. Like,
yeah. What's your problem, you asshole? So
you should be glad that you're here, because like this universe never would have had a Flash to begin with.
That's true.
The problem is he's not thinking fourth dimensionally,
and that he's got a real problem with that. So he takes Barry's flash ring, and then Thomas throws a bunch of batarangs at him, which is useless because the dude's faster than light. He uses his reverse flash powers to look into Wayne's mind and see that Barry gave him the context that he needs so that Thomas knows who Thawne is, that a long, drawn-out conversation.
Okay.
But don't worry, because this whole book is choked with long, drawn-out conversations or monologues that give you context for a story that's pretty basic.
Right. Well, it's like, well, I'm going to assume you didn't read Flashpoint. So
Literally
here's what
that.
you need to know.
Yeah, but I don't need to know any of the things you're talking about. And it's like, you're in a phony baloney universe anyway where things shouldn't be happening, but so why are you giving me context for it? I don't care.
Well, because some reader's going to be like, oh, what's wrong with Batman? Why does he look all weird? Why are they calling him Thomas?
Yeah, but if this is your first book, someone led you astray.
Serious trouble.
Hi, I've never read a comic before in my life.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you
I've heard of
Tales
Batman.
the Dark
I'll read this one.
Multiverse Flashpoint.
Yes. Yeah, an alternate reality version of a massive DC Comics event which changes the status quo for a decade or more.
Every comic is somebody's first
That's
comic.
intrinsically tied to the massive event we're doing right now.
Yes. Oh, and also it doesn't matter because it's in another reality that's also needs context because the Dark Multiverse itself is a holdover of a massive event. So, anyway, he's just like, okay, cool. Thanks for giving me the context. So now Thawne knows who Thomas is. He's acclimated to this reality, at least as far as I know that, Bruce Wayne is Batman. He's dead. In this reality, Thomas Wayne is Batman. And Thomas Wayne knows that this is not the reality it should be. He knows that this is wrong, and he wants it to be different.
Did Barry tell him it was wrong?
Barry told him.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry shows up, and he's like,
in my reality, you're dead.
you're dead, Bruce alive, he's Batman, and it's awesome. It's way better than this.
I want that.
But
I want my son to be alive.
Yeah.
But not because this
I'd
is
rather
the
my
Dark
wife was
Multiverse.
dead than the Joker, and I'd rather my son be Batman than dead.
Yeah, no, they don't know they're in the Dark Multiverse. No one knows.
No one knows they're in the Dark Multiverse because they shouldn't be, because they're all just
They just know they're in.
they're all just
Flashpoint.
what if hypothetical scenarios that are then conjured into realities that should be smashed by the dragon in the Dark Multiverse. But they're not, because there is no dragon, so now there's just a Dark Multiverse that's choked with worlds that shouldn't exist in comics that people can spend $6 on.
And this one hasn't yet taken its dark turn. Well,
No, it did.
I guess.
It just
Barry
did.
died.
Barry died.
But up until that moment,
Yep.
it was just Flashpoint.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Thawne runs around. He's just having a ball in this universe. How so? Machinations. He's doing all kinds of stuff between panels we don't even know.
What?
So Thawne's running around. We go to the Oval Office. Cyborg's giving the president a rundown about how Atlantis and Themyscira are at war because, of course, Wonder Woman and Aquaman had an affair and Mera died, and so there's this whole big blood war between the two factions, and it's overwhelming the whole world.
Right.
Grifter and Lois Lane are on the front lines or whatever. So the world is being swept up, and it's almost like Kingdom Come, because Kingdom Come is, of course, a premise where it's a big battle between superheroes will overwhelm the world itself. Only it's much better. Cyborg is I'm in charge, and I got a team, a ragtag team of characters who are going to help me, like Abin Sur Green Lantern and the Enchantress. And
Captain Cold.
Yeah, and Captain Cold. And then Thawne shows up and murders literally everybody in the room except the president and Cyborg.
Wow. Looks like Enchantress is fine too. She's just sitting there.
Yeah, she is. He grabs her face because she's magic and then ages her into oblivion.
Oh my god.
Because that's something he can do.
He can do that?
Yeah, he vibrates you so fast you age and then
Flash
die.
has many powers.
Yeah, I'm touching you and putting you in touch with the Speed Force.
Right. Yeah.
You're time traveling now.
Accelerating your time, yeah. President's like, no, don't hurt me. And he's like, I'm not going to because I installed you here. I was the one who whispered into the ears of all your constituents and all the Americans and arranged the elections. And
What?
I've been there your entire life, making you want to become president even though you're a sniveling worm. And I did that because I wanted you to be president so that when I showed back up here in the present, you would acquiesce power to me because the Amazon and the Atlantic took over Europe. I want America. I want to take over this hemisphere, and you're going to give it to me. And then you'll run it for me because I don't want to run it. I just want to have America. I want to know that America's mine.
I want to be the power behind the office.
Yeah.
Like there always is, apparently.
Right. And even though I can literally control time and human existence and in attoseconds, I also just want to arbitrarily say I own America to nobody. Because literally nobody knows who I am, what I'm up to, except for Thomas Wayne, who's a crazy person who lives in a cave and nobody cares.
Did he
Did he actually do all that? Or is
Yeah.
he just lying?
No, he's not lying. I mean, it'd be really
Was that
cool if it was
part
like a
of
mind
Flashpoint?
fuck. No.
He'd done that?
No.
How did he do
bullshit.
this?
He just did it in between the panels. Like, he's like, without Barry Allen, without my obsession about Barry, I got real busy.
Oh, so this is like the future. This is like way in the future.
This is like
10 minutes
No,
later.
it's like a day later or less.
How did he get someone elected president?
He went back in time and did all that.
Oh, he went back in time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Eobard can just zip-zop through time.
Why does he want to be in this time at all? Why doesn't he go back to
Because there's
where
no
he's
Flash
from?
in it. He's loving it.
Presumably, this is his time. This is when he exists. Or
This is when I...
the world he
from the
exists in, I guess.
future.
Yes.
But he's just like, oh, I randomly got pulled into this time by an accident. I guess I'll chill here for a while, but first I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through time, and then I'm going to come back here because I want to be here.
Right.
Even though I just arbitrarily was brought here by forces outside my control.
But I want to live in a world without Barry.
Yes.
Yeah, but
And you can go back.
the future of this world doesn't have Barry either.
No, it
That'll
doesn't.
be more familiar to you.
Yeah, but he's having fun. It's like a sandbox. He has no stake in any of the things that are happening, so he can fuck with it as much as he wants.
I mean, how much time does it take to manipulate someone into becoming president? Like,
Well, he talks
does
about
it
how
go back to when he's a child and
Yeah.
like plant the idea in
Yeah.
his mind that he wants to be president?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
and then he goes around and he like tells congressmen and senators and he affects ballot boxes and people's decision to vote at all and changes it all so the sniveling worm is president and we just let him be president.
Is friggin' dumb.
I agree.
That is so stupid that he would go to all that trouble.
Yes. Just so he could say, I own America.
You know what would be scarier? I just murdered all these powerful people in the room. You're going to acquiesce power of the country to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That took way less effort.
He literally just killed the entire version of the Justice League that they have, so there's nobody who can stand against him in this universe.
And if he did that, why didn't he just go back in time and make it so they never happened?
Yeah.
Why does he have to murder them in real time?
If he was worried about why the clandestine shit.
I don't know.
That's what I don't understand.
That's what he does.
Powerful.
I guess because he's really theatrical. He's like, I mean, the fact that he made Barry Allen lose his favorite dog and pushed him down the stairs and stuff. He's just a psycho.
He just wants to. He likes to get into all the detail.
Yeah, he's a super nerd. Don't forget, he's an Uber fan.
He is a super nerd. Okay.
So the president puts him on TV, calls him the Flash because there is no Flash in this reality.
Right.
And he's like, the Flash has agreed to end the war between the Atlanteans and the Themyscirians in exchange for running America. He doesn't say that.
Right.
He's more like, this guy's a new hero and he's awesome. So when he murdered everybody in the Justice League, Cyborg resisted because he's got sonic powers that disrupt Eobard Thawne's ability to kind of acclimate himself for a moment.
Right.
Okay.
Thawne basically atomizes him.
You say basically.
Well, he does.
He vibrates
literally
so
he
fast
atomizes
that
him.
his molecules rip
just rip apart. Cyborg
he can also do that.
Oh yeah.
Why doesn't he just always do that?
I don't know. Again, because he's a jackass who loves diversity.
I like being theatrical.
Yeah. So Cyborg backed himself up. So there's a consciousness of Cyborg living in the internet who basically calls Thomas while Thomas Wayne is in the Batcave watching the presidential address about how the Flash is the new savior of mankind.
Right.
Call comes in. Who gave you this line? This is an unrestricted line. This is a restricted line.
Exactly. Cyborg tells Thomas about Project Superman.
Oh.
Because they wanted Batman in the original Flashpoint to help them win the war against Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Right.
But that's bullshit now because we got a Flash to deal with and that war. So we need Superman. And they don't know what Superman is, but they do know there's a powerhouse that's being hidden in a secret bunker. And if we can have access to it and manipulate him, maybe we can turn the tide.
Okay.
All right.
So
it's not a bad idea.
Right. So Cyborg tells Thomas about Superman, and they're going to go do that. So Thawne is in the Oval Office, and he's just kind of hanging out and wallowing in his own douchebaggery. And the president's like, it's an election year. Can we let the people vote or whatever? I don't know how much time has passed. Not much. Right. Can't be much. But, he lives in between seconds. So while he's waiting for things to happen or setting things up or not working, he's just kind of thinking. And he's just kind of wondering about the nature of his existence.
So he's the greatest philosophizer ever. Philosopher, not philosophizer. That's not a thing.
Isn't it?
Shut up.
No. Because he's not smart enough to really think about that terribly deeply. But he's it's like he's being given an opportunity to think about his role in the universe for the first time.
Oh, and to look back on things and be like, my good person.
Right. No. He's more So there is no God. Because if there were, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, if God were loving and kind, it would stop me.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like...
But there are characters that are connected to God.
Right, yeah, but like Thawne doesn't know about the Spectre. So he's just kind of like, okay, so that's kind of interesting. Like, because I'm a living testament to the fact there's no God. And the president just goes, I don't really know anything about that. Just don't kill me. And he's like, if you did, I'd just bring you back. Like, I
can do that.
I'm a complete psycho. I'd kill you for fun, bring you right back, and then kill you again. I'd kill you 1,000 times.
I've actually already killed you 3 times this morning. You don't even remember.
He could, what, by going back in time and undoing himself killing him?
He never really makes good on that. So I have no idea. Like, could he go back and grab a previous, like, oh, I took you from a few seconds before I killed you and brought you to the present? Or does he mean like he can vibrate his molecules so that he can make him not be dead anymore? I don't know. But what's funny for me is that, like, when he says this, you're like, oh, I get it. Because now Thawne believes or does have mastery over death.
Right.
So, and we keep cutting back to the Batcave, where Barry Allen's corpse is just sitting on a slab somewhere.
Yeah.
So clearly, Thawne is like, what is my life without Barry Allen? And then I'll bring Barry Allen back to life. And that'll be the linchpin. Right. So Thawne goes to the Batcave, and he's like, hey, Thomas Wayne, haha, I know you're working on stuff, and you're talking to Cyborg. I guess I didn't kill all of him.
Look at this. Look at all these words. Look at all these words. All these fucking words.
Yeah. So much dialogue, mostly from Thawne, mostly saying very simple things.
Is it now that, like, hey, I realize I could do anything? Maybe I want to be a good guy.
Nope, it's not that. I mean, he doesn't do that in this right now. He's just like talking to Thomas Wayne about things he's thinking about. Like, I was in the Oval Office earlier and I was just thinking.
Why?
So, he never resuscitates Barry Allen.
Right.
That does not happen in this. Instead, he lures Thomas Wayne into a conversation where Thomas admits that he would do anything to go back to the reality he should be in, where he's dead and Bruce is alive. And he admits, that is to say, Thawne admits to Thomas, yes, I could easily do that, and I never will.
Right.
And I'm keeping you alive because I can kill you at any moment. I'm keeping you alive because I like the idea that there's someone out there who knows that this is wrong. And it's all my fault and I could fix it.
And they can't do anything about it.
And you can't do anything about it. You're powerless to stop me. And then he leaves. And as he leaves, he thinks to himself, yay, I have just triggered Thomas Wayne. He will never stop obsessing over me. I've created a new nemesis now.
Yay.
Like, he will obsess over me the way that I used to obsess over Barry.
And that's really all I ever wanted.
And that's all I ever wanted. And it's like, what? So anyway, that happens. Okay. So Thomas immediately is like, all right, Cyborg, I'm in. So they break into this, like, secret bunker under Metropolis to free Superman while the war is raging between Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Right.
So we go to Paris, which is underwater because the Atlanteans have taken over. And Thawne murders 1,000 Atlanteans and stabs Aquaman to death with his own trident. And he basically is monologuing at Aquaman's corpse saying, I basically flipped a coin. Like, I could have picked you or Wonder Woman. I chose you because I believe that your death will be a better example and Wonder Woman will be more receptive to my plan than you would be.
Okay.
So he slaughters the Atlanteans.
To kill.
Yeah, that's also good. So he murders Aquaman and 1,000 Atlanteans and then goes before Wonder Woman and her hordes and he like dumps Aquaman's body before them and he's like, knock it off. The war is over. You can keep...
And you won.
Yeah, you won.
Congrats.
Keep what you got because you're a necromonger and you keep what you kill. But I get America. Now fuck off. And Wonder Woman's like, what if I don't back off? And he's like, well, then I'm going to fucking kill you like I kill everybody.
Right.
And he hoped that the 1,000 dead Atlanteans and Aquaman's murder would be enough to scare her away.
Right.
But no.
No. So Cyborg and Batman break into the Superman facility. They recover Superman. And Cyborg reasons from like files he's read on Superman that like all he wants is a friend. He's like, we could get him.
Someone to talk to.
We could get him if we're nice to him.
Yeah, okay.
So they recover Superman and they bring him to Wayne Manor and they just let him fly up into the sky and just hang out in front of the sun for like 5 days.
Makes sense.
Just charging up. Just absorbing as much solar radiation as he can. And they're like, I don't know what he's doing up there, but whatever it is, it better work out.
So the entirety of their plan was
Get
Superman, throw him at Thawne.
Yes.
After 5 days charging in the sun.
Yes. That's the plan.
Okay.
And Superman is supposed to be on board because
They're nice to
They're
him.
gonna...
Well, they freed him.
Yeah, they freed him from his bondage, and they're nice to him.
And he didn't just go insane?
No. That's kind of what happens in Flashpoint, but like...
Yeah.
No, well, they talk to him and stuff, so he, like, knows English and crap. Whatever, so they're like, okay, you on board for this plan, Superman? He's like, yes, but remember, we're not killing anybody. Superman's, like, morality is still intact, despite the fact that he was never raised by the Kents and he has no contact
part of
with
his
this reality.
DNA.
It's part of his, it's intrinsic. Maybe it was, like, imparted onto him by Jor-El and the Pod. It's fundamental to Superman's character that he does not murder and he will always find a way. That's Superman.
Hey, you don't have to kill him. Just, strand him on the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
He can breathe up there, right? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, probably. Never check.
I didn't kill him. The lack of oxygen killed him.
And I don't have to save him. So,
Superman for being thrown to the moon by me.
So Superman
Batman's really on board for that.
Yeah, well, this is Thomas Wayne has guns, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Thawne is attacked by Superman, and they fight, and Thawne's like, okay, I'm up against Superman, I'm probably going to lose.
Right. Oh, damn. There's a Superman here.
Right.
Because Sal told me Superman always finds a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not wrong. But Thawne is faster, but doesn't help. So Superman, they fight.
Yeah, he's faster, but he's not super strong.
Superman's also really resilient.
He is very resilient, yeah. Yeah. So they fight, and it's pretty interestingly, they're evenly matched. Like Thawne uses his speed to drop a mountain on Superman. Superman knocks Thawne into the air. He goes, try running from up there. And while Thawne's in the air, Cyborg and Batman engage Thawne because that was all part of the plan, was luring Thawne to this strategic location and then throwing him up into the sky. Okay. And when they do, Cyborg hits Thawne with bigger, louder sonic emitters because he realized when he died that the sonic emitters that he used on Thawne would have worked if they were bigger and louder.
I gotta crank the bass.
So he does.
Because they caused him to stagger before, but not
to be defeated or
not.
knocked out.
I'm on the right track, but more.
Right. And Thawne also realizes if I get knocked out by Superman, it's over.
Yeah.
So I gotta stay awake. So Thawne and Superman are both hit by these emitters. And
but Superman has earplugs.
He does not.
So did they not tell Superman about the plan?
I think it's more like Superman is strong. They're like, we just hope he's strong enough to handle it.
Oh, okay.
And he's pretty much on board.
So he's not like, why are they hitting me with Sonics? He's like, no, I know that this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that was the plan. But then Batman's like, and my plan also involves these fucking guns. And Gatling guns blast out of the ground and just open fire on both of them. Now they're just pinging off of Superman.
Yeah.
And Thawne is trying to move fast enough to dodge them and block them.
Yeah, but the Sonics.
And Cyborg is like, damn it, what the fuck? You said we were gonna... He's like, dude, we're not killing this. No. Fuck
this guy. This guy alive.
I don't want him contained.
He's too dangerous to be kept alive.
Well, no, I need him alive, but I want to break him. I need him to go back in time. Wayne's like, my plan was not to save this world. My plan was to use this guy to go back in time and unmake all of this.
Right.
This is all fake. So he takes out Cyborg while they were in the underground facility, by the way. Batman went off for a second. I'll be right there. And he grabs a couple of kryptonite guns. Wayne pulls out his kryptonite gun as he approaches Superman and Thawne. Thawne is under siege by bullets and trying to dodge them, but there's one bullet that is coming for his head, and Superman catches it and says, no killing. And then Batman shows up and he's like, what are you doing? And this act of selflessness and altruism from Superman causes Thawne to stop dead in his tracks. He's just frozen for a minute. So Batman takes his kryptonite gun and he shoots Superman in the head. What? He's like, I can't let you stop me, and don't worry, you'll exist in the other reality. He doesn't say that. He doesn't give a shit. He's just like, fuck this alien. I don't want him stopping me from torturing and using Thawne to go back in time.
Here's the thing. I need him. I was never going to kill him.
No.
But I needed you out of the picture.
Exactly. So as they are arguing with each other, Batman's got his gun up against...
like, what the hell?
Yeah. Who is full robot, by the way.
Yeah.
No longer a cyborg.
Right.
But yes. So Batman's got his gun up against Thawne's temple, Cyborg's freaking out, and the combined might of Themyscirian technology and Atlantis.
Like, we gotta kill this Thon.
We gotta kill the Running Man.
Yeah. Because he so easily defeated that army of Atlanteans,
Yes.
he's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aquaman just died, and they're like, oh shit, that's the real threat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Common enemy.
Yes. That is what ended the war, except it didn't. It just made it stronger, and now they're like, we claim this land for us. Like,
Right.
this is now a combined might of Atlantis and Themyscira. All it took was killing Aquaman, but now we're on the same page. And we will build an empire that expands the stars themselves.
Oh my god.
Like, we will take America, we'll take the moon, we're gonna take Mars, we're gonna take everything.
I want to see that book.
Yeah, well, because she's like, we didn't just team up with Atlantis and Themyscira. When Thawne was talking about the death of gods, he was right, but we got some new ones, and the boom tubes open.
Oh my god.
She made an alliance with the new ruler of Apocalypse, Big Barda, and her parademons. So, all of New Genesis, which was taken over by the Anti-Life Equation and an Apocalypse, has joined forces with the Atlanteans and the Themyscira. It's become this, like, unstoppable intergalactic armada.
This is awesome now.
And Batman just says, this is all righteously terrifying. But I'm smiling because you've lost. Because as they're all like converging on Batman and Thawne's location, Batman just says, look at what you've done. We can't stand against this. This is your world, or it's theirs. You gotta run. And Thawne takes the bullet that was meant for his head, and he looks at it, and he says, it's my world, and then runs. And it unmakes this reality. So then we cut to years ago in that reality for Gotham City. The Waynes are about to be shot. Thawne shows up and puts the bullet that was meant for his head in Joe Chill's head, saving all of the Waynes, and places that bullet next to Joe Chill's head as a little reminder for Bruce, like, this bullet, it means something.
You're not going to remember it because it'll never actually happen in your lifetime.
It doesn't quite make any sense to you.
No, but
it's important though.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
but the bullet represents, the world that he has inherited. He's like, if this is my world, and if anybody tries to take it from me, I'll be ready for it. And we see the new present, and Thawne is among the legions of heroes and villains who all control this Earth. And unfortunately, Superman has like an electric blue Superman suit. I don't know why he's not blue, but it's just to show you like how fucked up and weird this reality is. But it ends on a super hopeful note in the Dark Multiverse, where there's legions of heroes and villains have been turned good. Maybe because Thawne went back in time and fucking like helped them out and got them laid or something. I don't know, but like everyone is good and Thawne is leading the charge.
You know what's great about this?
Because Superman saved him. Like, that moment.
There's no Batman.
No.
Because he has his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No Batman. No one becomes Batman.
Somehow there is a Superman, even though in the Flashpoint universe there was no Superman.
Well, he went back in time and saved the Wayne, so it stands to reason he went back in time and stopped.
Yeah, he also does.
Superman's
They ran
rocket.
out of pages; they couldn't show up. So, why does it? I don't understand because we don't close the loop on Tempest Huguenot?
Nope.
He's like, oh, maybe what's this Flash going to do? Maybe he will be my champion, and then he shows that he is.
Yeah.
But Tempest Huguenot doesn't show up and pick him.
No. Well, now he's got like a whole legion of superheroes to pick from because everyone in this world is a hero, probably.
Everyone in this world is a hero, and at the same time, it's just like, oh, well, this didn't turn out dark like I'd hoped for. I guess I won't pick any of them.
I don't know.
Well, they're supposed to be dark.
Though I should mention that Huguenot does not actually say, I'm going to pick somebody.
No.
He just talks about how, is this world better? Like, is it a better
he's
tomorrow?
acting more like the Watcher here.
He's totally Brian Hitch didn't even read any of it. He was just like, what is this again? And they're like, oh, he's like the Watcher. Okay.
I got it.
Got it.
So he's not looking for a champion here.
No.
Okay.
This is the best.
Does he have a nose?
world
You know what? I don't care.
Out of all the Dark Multiverses.
Yeah, this is the most hopeful world in the Dark Multiverse.
That's not a dark. This isn't a Dark Multiverse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. There's no Batman. This is DC's Dark Multiverse because there's no profit-making Batman.
That's right. Yeah, this is the lowest-selling DC universe of all time.
This isn't even that dark.
No.
It really
Like,
isn't.
even when it's at its worst moment, it's not that dark.
So, like,
It's not as dark as real Flashpoint.
right.
he does kill everyone inside the Oval Office, kind of.
I mean,
crazily.
he kills all the superheroes.
But then he
dark.
goes back in time and stops Batman from existing. So clearly, he didn't do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't
But
install
you did
the
watch
puppet
it happen.
He does do those
Like,
things.
it exists on the pages of the book.
Yes.
Maybe he does go back in time and stop Batman from becoming Batman because he's like, you're the one person that could defeat me.
That's fair.
You always have a plan.
I mean,
I can't have that.
That definitely gives him the edge. I agree with that.
It's still not a Dark Multiverse.
No.
I mean, it's not a Dark Multiverse until this world is, wrenched from existence by some weird apocalypse thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which we'll never get to see because there's no more of this.
No, they don't do this anymore. I mean, they could at any point because they have the they got the project files.
I guess
Make a number 2.
I guess
wouldn't that blow people's minds?
Certainly blow your mind because apparently you can't get over the fact there's a number 1 on a 1-issue book.
What he says is,
Give me a number 2 or 3.
Don't number it 1 if it's the only one.
That's a one-shot. Every issue starts at number 1.
it is a dark world because like it's run by Eobard Thawne.
Yeah.
And like somehow,
and it's all by his design.
Right.
Like if anybody crosses him, he just goes back and unmakes you or something. It's almost like Children of the Corn, but it's like superheroes.
yeah. And he says that like it's
and they don't
my
know.
world,
Yeah.
and so like implying that he has control of it.
Right, but I'm
like,
guessing
doesn't
that
he always?
yes.
Because he can travel through time, so like theoretically, this is no more unlikely than our universe.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Well, I think the idea is it's not that he's
do
like
all these people really follow him? And
No.
if so, why?
right.
Or is it more that he's just like, well, they leave me alone, and if anything ever goes wrong, I'll go back in time and fix it. But like again, he could always do that.
I think the idea is because like that his heart grows 3 sizes that day that Superman rescued him from the bullet.
Right. So now he can like play nice with others.
Yeah, he's more just like I fixed things. Like let me try on being a hero for a minute.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So it's not dark.
Yeah, it's not quite as dark as like these heroes all follow me because I've manipulated events such that they will like agree with me. Like, I think it's also just like he's been changed,
Right.
but he's also still Eobard Thawne.
But it's dark because it's a bad guy who is an integral part of.
It's
the
dark
picture of
Does he
heroes.
cease to be a bad guy?
yeah, I think he is not a bad guy at the end of this book. But I think the reason why it's even in the Dark Multiverse is because that's the initiative they were doing, and Brian Hitch wanted to do this book.
Yeah. It's Dark Multiverse because Barry dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
what if Eobard Thawne like became the hero?
the Flash.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess if Barry came back, it might fuck him up again.
Mm.
Or maybe if Barry came back and he's had enough time being a hero, he's more well-adjusted. But you'll never know, because they're never going to do a sequel to this.
No. Interesting. Since it ends on kind of an up note, this is the one where
Yeah.
I'm like, I would like to see another one of those.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah, there's more like that. There's another one that's kind of happy at the end. But it's like, what? And that's why it's like Volume 2. They went, fuck it. Here you go. Here's a thing.
Well, all right.
Right? I mean, even the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal ends. Tempest Bugonaut gets punched in the face.
That's right.
So, you know.
Yeah, they're starting to lose the thread here.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Wait, what?
What is the
Is there
Dark
any point to
Multiverse
this?
for?
That's why Dark Knight's Metal is the last one. They're like, all right,
Yeah, it just peters out.
That's just stop.
That's enough.
So we'll see if there's more. There's plenty more. And there's a couple of Batman ones, so we'll get to those. But, bizarre.
Yeah.
Flashpoint. Was it dark? I don't know.
I guess there's no reason they can't do more because they could just say like, well, yeah, I mean, it happened back when all that Dark Knight's Metal stuff was happening, and the evil or the Dark Multiverse stories were being made,
Yeah.
and not being unmade.
But it's the Dark Multiverse.
We can
It's
tell it
supposed to
whatever
be.
we want.
Yeah.
For 100 years, we could tell Dark Multiverse stories, and they're all just set in that time period
Right.
where that was occurring.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, because those worlds live and die.
Yeah. So how did it end? Is the Dark Multiverse gone?
No.
It's still happening.
Yeah. I guess. Nobody's smashing them.
Okay. So the status quo.
I think the status
Is
quo
that-
is there's still a Dark Multiverse.
Okay. All right. Would you say that the end of this book is an allusion to its own New 52? Like a Dark Multiverse New 52?
Like New 52 is dark, so the inverse would be like it's like Bizarro World.
Yeah, like
Bad
Flashpoint
Boy.
caused New 52. Well, this is like reverse Flashpoint, and it causes its own like New 52, where they
Yeah.
have like different costumes and shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's weird. I don't know. Except it doesn't because he never fixes the Barry's mom thing.
No.
And
No.
that's the thing that causes New 52.
Right, that's true.
Kind of. I guess in a world without Batman, this is the world you get.
Right.
Even still, it's like, what? Because he saves Barry's mom, Barry still exists, but never becomes Flash. So there is still a Barry Allen in that universe.
Oh, okay.
Who will never know that he was destined to become the Flash.
Yes. He'll never be fast. And his life must be much better because Thawne doesn't go back and mess it up anymore.
Right. Right.
So it's even more hopeful than our real reality.
Yeah, in terms of like the characters that we know living nice, happy lives,
right?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even undo the war between Atlantis and
the Amazons.
Yeah. For all that, the only cost is that you gotta let a bad guy be Flash. You know?
Yeah.
So I'd say not too bad.
Yeah. Weigh the pros and cons.
And well, there you have it.
There you have it. So see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
So long. Yep.
I'm sorry. I thought you hit the record button.
No.
I definitely didn't hit the
Well, clearly.